Hello and welcome to the City Show. It is hot outside, which means summer's upon us, which means the Blues Festival is right around the corner, which is great because nothing's cooler than the Blues Festival. Now, this is their 23rd year that we're celebrating, and here to help us understand what's going on and how to appreciate it is the Optimist Club, Arla Tanninghill. We have Charles Losey and Ann Smith, and later on we're going to get a preview from Keith T-Bone Colbert. He's amazing. He's got the hat and everything, so be prepared to get a dose. And if this doesn't get you excited, there's something wrong with you. Guys, welcome back. Great to have you here. The Optimist Club is, I mean, just the word optimist. It's got to be an upbeat club. And you guys have been doing this with the Blues Festival for 23 years. Whose idea was this? It was a great idea.
Well, it started out with the Chamber. Lebanon Chamber did it for 3 years. So our club has been doing it for 20 years.
Wow.
So this is our 20th anniversary, Arla.
Oh, my.
So, yeah.
Wow. That's
And
fantastic.
our club was 28 years old yesterday.
Well, happy birthday.
We didn't have cake or anything.
Now, what's involved in organizing an event this size? There's got to be a lot of committees, a lot of people,
Details.
details.
A lot of details, but our club works very good. Our committee works very good on this. Becky does vendors. Tammy and Becky are doing vendors. Barb does insurance. Ann does everything else. I get to help with volunteers.
How about the talent?
Kathy?
Who gets it? Because you guys, I mean, talent-wise, my goodness. People are driving from all over the place to come here. Yeah.
They are. So
Yeah.
we work with Jeff Hill from the Dayton Blues Society, and he gets all of the acts for us, and he's got a great lineup this year.
So obviously you're a large organization. There's
Mm-hmm.
plenty of people. Do you recruit all your members to come out? Do they have to do some time? And
We encourage them to volunteer at the festival. There's about 9 of us on the committee that put this together. Our organization as a whole only has about 35 people, so
wow,
it's not a ton
Yeah.
of people doing it. I
Okay.
think what makes our festival so successful is this consistency of the same people doing the same job every year.
and this is the big event that you guys are involved. I can't imagine anything bigger than this.
This one's pretty big. Avenue of Flags is also another
Okay.
fundraiser that we do, which is pretty big as well.
How would you sum up the overall mission of the Optimist Club?
We have a three-legged stool. We're friend of youth, patriotism, and respect for law. So the funds that we raise at our festival is mostly directed to youth activities here in the Lebanon community and our county.
You should call people in Portland and Chicago and set up an outpost of the Optimist Club out there. They could benefit from
Well,
the
I'm
respect to the law. I mean, what we have here in our town is just so special. I mean, it's like 50 years back, and we're still on track, and we haven't regressed. We're still on track, and I appreciate what you guys represent. Can you tell me more about some of the other projects as far as the legs that your organization does? How about with youth? What specifically? You got a scholarship for youth?
We have 4 scholarships, and we have 4 and 2.
Okay.
We have 4 scholarships that we offer to the graduating Lebanon high school kids.
Okay.
It's not based on their grades.
Yeah.
It's based on their attitude.
Wow.
And then we also have been this year we offered a couple of scholarships for kids going to the Career Center.
Okay.
Once again, not necessarily based on their grades. Grades are good, but we want to see people who are kind to each other and make a difference with their attitude.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. And the patriotism part, the Avenue of Flags, can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, the 2 different things, okay?
Yep.
The patriotism for us, yes, is Avenue of Flags. That's why we're doing that. But the respect for law is each year we work with the Lebanon Police Department to identify an outstanding police officer,
Wow.
a Leo.
Yeah.
And we kind of give them a little plaque and have a little lunch and invite their family and let them know how truly important and the difference that they make in our community. We have some remarkable individuals serving our community,
Yeah, we do.
helping to keep us safe.
Well, that's nice to recognize them too. This has got to cost a lot to have this blues festival. How do you generate revenue for this? Because I don't think you're charging people as you walk down the street.
We do not charge
Yeah.
people to come to our festival. So if it wasn't for our sponsors, which Miami Valley Gaming has been incredible, they're our presenting sponsor this year. LC&B is another big one. Festo. Advix, Sinclair, and the city of Lebanon is just awesome with the things that they give us as well. So we look at it as a community effort. We all kind of volunteer to put this festival on, and yeah.
Still have the same enthusiasm too. I mean,
Yeah.
in 20 years, and Arlie, you're still, you know, bubbly and up. And
I am more excited about this year's festival than I think I ever have been.
now Charles, he's new blood.
He is new blood.
Yeah, he's the rookie, the freshman in the squad. He's kind of quiet over there.
But he's been working on a whole different kind of an issue. Not issue, that would be event for us.
Okay.
So let's get to that in a minute.
Beautiful. I like that. Little suspense.
Little suspense,
good.
yeah.
Call me Chuck.
Chuck, okay.
Chuck, okay. Yeah.
Well, fantastic. Now, Ann, what are the hours and the dates of the Blues Festival?
So Friday night, the music starts at 6, but
Okay.
they start serving the food at 5 o'clock, so they can come down early. And we have the Lebanon Jazz Band is going to open for us.
Wow.
They're going to play blues, even though they're a jazz band. So they're going to open for us from 5 till about 5:45.
That's
and
the
then
29th?
that is like the
Pardon?
night,
What's the date?
August 5th.
August 5th, okay.
I'm like, please don't bring it up a week early. I almost
We're
panicked.
not ready.
Yeah,
It's
August
the
5th.
first Saturday in August and the
Thank you.
Friday night
Yeah.
before.
Beautiful.
Yep.
Okay.
So August 5th, and then on Saturday it's from 11 to 11.
Okay. And Chuck, I understand that Saturday, July 30th.
There we go.
Yep.
We get a little preview of the blues downtown at the Lebanon train station. Can you tell us more about that and how that works?
Sure. Yeah, this is a brand new venture. They asked me to participate in it because it's like, well, he's the new kid on the block, and so go ahead and give it to him.
Hey, you said yes.
I did say yes. Okay, I was happy to say yes. Ray Kramer over at the Lebanon Railroad. We've been working with him to put this thing together, and on the 30th, that's a Saturday, we've got 2 blues rides taking place in the afternoon. I think one's at 4 and one's at 6. Okay, so what we've done in regards to that too is that the Jeff over here at Music Gizmo is bringing over a number of his teachers, and we're going to have a blues band playing on the platform before each ride. And then what's going to happen is the blues band, okay, is going to get on the train and leave with the patrons.
Okay.
Then we have other musicians coming in that's going to play while they're gone, just as other people are milling around. So that's on the 30th.
Wow.
Do you want me to talk about the busking or save that for later?
Go ahead.
I'm on a roll. Okay. So then, to extend the Blues Week, if you will, every day, Monday through Thursday, we've reached out to buskers, which are street performers, who are going to come in, and we've strategically located them around the city and the downtown area, and they're going to busk on Broadway for the blues.
Okay.
Okay, and these are people that are volunteers. These are musicians that play throughout Southern Ohio.
Yeah.
And they're coming in for, like I said, every day that week we've got some buskers coming in, and we've got room for more.
Okay.
So we're pretty excited about it. First time we've done this, and it seems like the local music community has been pretty excited about, yeah, let's do that. That sounds like fun.
Okay. What is a busker?
Okay, busker, great. I had to ask too.
Thank you.
I Googled it.
It's a street performer.
Okay.
It's a British term, but we thought it fit with the iteration, you know, the busking blues on Broadway.
Nice.
Okay,
nice.
so we're pretty excited about it. And everyone's playing, you know, they're playing off the word, hey, I get to perform on Broadway. This is great, you know.
Wow.
So
I love the fact that they're performing on the train for the trip.
no.
Two different things.
Two
We're
different
talking
things
two,
here.
two
Yeah.
different things.
I'm
Let's
going
be-
back.
let's
I'm
be
going
clear.
back. I want to make sure that
be
because
clear.
I understood that they're going to have performers in the train on the ride.
You understood that correctly,
Yeah.
but they're not
Wow.
performing on the train.
Yeah.
What they're doing on the train is they're going to have music that they've performed
Piped in.
piped into the train,
Gotcha.
and they're going to be in there interacting with
Oh, fun.
the passengers.
Yeah.
Okay. And the idea is to promote the Blues Festival, promote Music Gizmo, etc. Okay. And then, but they're going to be playing on the platform when people are milling around before they actually load on the train. They're going to be performing.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
it
now
is
the rest of
amazing.
the venue, is it still going to be on Mulberry and Cherry as usual?
Yes.
Stage
same
the
place.
same size.
Yep.
Okay. I think we got a video. If you guys are able to play that, there you go. You recognize that. That's a beautiful downtown Lebanon. What about the plans for the beer garden this year? Me being from Milwaukee, I
You mean
gotta
the
talk about
adult
the beer garden.
beverage distribution area?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, last year we moved it for the first time since the festival. We moved it up so because of Dora,
Yeah.
we can now walk in more places
Nice.
with your alcohol. So we tried to make it more accessible, and the bigger reason is our beer truck used to take up most of the shade that was in the Bicentennial Park.
Okay.
So we have freed up a ton of shade and more lawn space so more people can comfortably fit and listen to
Because
the
it's
music.
hot. Yeah,
It is
that's-
hot.
That's a hot time.
Yeah.
What about the other vendors you have lined up?
The food vendors,
Yes, ma'am.
we've got a lot of food vendors. There's 11 food vendors. We have some returning that we've always had. We've got some new ones coming in. So there's a whole variety of awesome festival food.
Now
Some
that's-
good barbecue, as always.
And plus, we have the wonderful food in town. Yeah. And,
Yes.
And what about, is the new firehouse the?
I don't know if it's going to be open yet.
Yeah, they're not
brewery.
ready yet.
They're not
Lebanon
quite
Brewing
ready.
Company. It's-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now there's an arts and crafts fair that brings people to this as well. And can you
Yeah,
tell us
there's
something about
some
that?
artisans that we have scheduled coming in. I think she's got 9, 10. There's 11 artisans coming in too. So she's got woodworking. She's got like LED toys and science-themed art, and we have a local author that's going to come, and somebody who they take old guitar picks
Nice.
and make really cool jewelry out of it.
Oh, my.
So that's
Yeah.
going to be really
and that
neat
ties
too.
in with the theme of Blues
Absolutely.
Festival. I
Yep.
love that. Yeah.
And we have like 20 food vendors, not 11. Wow. I just counted them, the food vendors.
Oh, she said full food and
Oh,
meal. So
okay.
like
full food. So
full
the-
food. Yeah.
That she's not counting, but I count the popcorn person.
Well, you got to. Yeah, especially in our town.
can
we got
make a
that.
meal out
we
of
have our
popcorn.
popcorn store that does a great job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now there's a
You're right.
car show that I'm not a car show fan, but I love this car show. It's got to be. It would seem like it's got to be one of the best in Ohio. I mean, the amount of cars and the quality. Do they just keep coming back? And look at that. There they are.
Yeah, look at them. A lot of them do come back. I think last year we were competing with several other car shows in and around this area. So last year was kind of tough. But there's a lot of people that they love this festival. They love downtown historic,
Yeah.
community, and so they make sure that this is the show that they go to.
Well, know too that the car festival or that the car show is run by the
Run-of-the-mills.
run-of-the-mill
Okay.
Rodders.
cars club. Okay, and it's actually separate, but together.
Yeah, nice.
And our festivals often worked with other organizations to make something happen. Back in the day, the city had the Red Hot Blues Run, which was also one of those. I would never
5K.
I
yeah.
would never do
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
but other people did.
Well, I bet if you could get one of those cars and go along with it, you'd probably
Maybe
give it
I
a
might
nod,
do
say,
that,
"Yeah,
or
I'll
a
do
golf cart could
Yeah,
do
there you
that.
go.
But
There you go.
anyway, the folks with the run-of-the-mill Hot Rod Club, they do a wonderful
Yeah.
job. And the proceeds that they also make at this car show, they donate to one of the organizations that support our youth in our
Wow.
area.
That's beautiful and brilliant that you just have them manage that. You don't have to be concerned. But
Right.
if somebody wanted to get their car and entered in there, do they contact you or do they have to contact a club?
You just show up the day of the festival.
You just bring your car down.
Just bring your car down.
With some money.
Well, it's got to be an older. You can't just bring any car.
You can't bring
That's-
any car. I mean,
get
it is
that
a
piece of
class.
junk outta here.
It
Yeah.
is a
Gotta
classic
have
car
standards.
show.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And as far as music, because that's the big part.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about that. Friday is going to be a special evening of music from young musicians who
Mm-hmm.
have participated in the Pintop Perkins Master Class. Can you tell us about Pinetop
Pine Top. Mhm.
Perkins and his foundation?
Well, I had to Google him because I did not know a lot about
Yeah.
Pine Top Perkins, but he is an incredible person who passed away,
Oh, my.
very well known in the Blues Society for what he played. And so this foundation, what they do is they bring in kids who are really interested in music, and I think they're already pretty good before they get
Okay.
there. And so to be in this master class, they're teaching them how to perform and be on stage with other people, and they work with them on writing songs, and it's just it's incredible. And so kids that have been in this master class are the ones that are going to be on stage Friday night with
really cool.
Bob Margola.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which once again organized by the Dayton Blues Society.
Yes.
They are a gem. They did this, and so that is the real reason why I'm super excited about this festival. We got a young man coming up from Florida. He's 12 years old.
my
We got
gosh.
somebody else coming from Colorado. We got a couple of people coming up from Tennessee, Kentucky. There's
Dayton, Ohio, local.
two brothers coming from Dayton, Ohio, and Cincinnati. Illinois, Elgin, Illinois, girls coming over. I just can't hardly wait. They're going to sit in with what kind of called like a house band. So I'm very
It's gonna be
happy.
awesome.
I'm very happy.
I'm waiting for you to start doing a Tom Cruise and jumping on the couch. This is something else. We'll be able to talk back.
Listen, if I could jump, I would.
Now, what about the music on Saturday? What time does that start?
11.
Okay.
11
And
a.m. to
can you
11
tell us a
p.m.
little bit about the lineup on that day?
Well, the lineup you can see is scrolling on the screen
Thank
right
you.
now, which we're going to hear Keith here in a minute, which is going to be awesome.
Thank
He'll
you,
be our opener on Saturday. And then, we've got the
Yeah,
list,
beautiful.
and none of these people have played our blues festival, so
You know, with a name like Blackjack, you got to be pretty good.
You-
That's
you
like
gotta be good.
T-Bone.
yeah.
You know,
Or just play cards well.
that too. Yeah.
These are all high energy bands, so it's if you've come to our blues festival, you know what kind of music we play. It's going to be incredible. And then at the end, our headliner is Bob Margola, which is the
Okay.
musician. He was the guitar player from Muddy Waters.
Oh my goodness.
So he's going to be playing with some local people.
Yeah.
And so they're just putting together a little kind
Jam
of
session.
jam session kind of. And
How
it's,
fun!
it's
And that's how they're closing it
gonna be
off.
good.
That's the fireworks of
That
the
is fireworks.
Blues Festival.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Are you going to have a live stream again this year?
Yes,
Yeah.
both nights, both days.
And now, how did that? Was last year the first time you've done the
Mm-hmm,
live stream? How did that work out? Was it pretty good? Was it well received and a lot of people watching?
Yes.
You able to track that?
Yes.
Okay. Wow.
I forgot to write down how
Wait,
many
now wait,
views.
wait,
Do you
wait,
have
wait.
it?
Yes, and we think that's even more. So we know the average viewing time was 4.4 hours, which is like incredible. Almost 12 hours worth of live stream is what we had. So it was Cincinnati Bell. Shout out to Cincinnati Bell for
Nice.
helping it with.
Yes.
And now this year they're a different name. Alta Fiber or something.
Okay.
Is that what they are? We know that our paid ads, because we ran ads in between the stage, the setup, the band sets. There's about 15 minutes in there when it takes for the bands to change from one to the other. So we ran some ads, which are still available
Okay.
if you would like to purchase one.
Well, that's a
Just
good shout,
saying.
yeah.
We know that they reached pretty close to 40,000 people with 2,000 engagement, which was like really remarkable. And we know between YouTube and our Facebook stuff, it was almost 60,000
Oh my gosh.
folks. And
Yeah.
really, pat on the back to Kathy Feinauer for setting all that up. I mean, she was remarkable working with other folks.
So how do people hook up to do the mainstream? How do they, or the live streaming? How do they
You just-
connect with that?
Just go to YouTube and put in Lebanon Blues Festival.
Okay, fantastic.
Yep.
Now it's a tradition here at the City Show to have somebody from the Blues Festival lineup perform, and today we have Keith T-Bone Colbert. And Keith, you're from Columbus, right?
Yes, sir.
And how did you get started playing blues music?
I had my grandfather, basically, when I was a young man. He played in bands and did stuff, so from a pretty early age, I got turned on to it, and that was kind of like,
Pretty early age. How old were you?
Like
Could've been
8.
Oh my gosh.
in his house, that's what got played, so.
Wow. Is that when you started playing the guitar
Yeah.
as well? And how would you describe your musical style?
I do pretty much traditional blues music, more on the Delta side of things.
Okay.
A little bit more modern. I try to write songs about modern subjects, so
nice.
but then keep it play it how they
Aside
used to
from
play it.
Grandpa, any other influences that really come to mind?
Oh, I mean, there's so many. I've been lucky to have so many mentors
Yeah.
like throughout my life. It's ridiculous. I could sit here for hours and talk about them, but just so many people. I mean, musical influences would be like Robert Johnson, B.B. King, Muddy Waters, Howlin' Wolf, all those kind of guys.
What are you going to play for us today, brother?
I'm going to play a couple of my original songs for you guys today.
Beautiful, beautiful. Tebow, take it off.
All right. The song's called Mean Girls. Baby, don't you leave me all alone. Hey, hey, darling. Baby, don't you leave me all alone. Well, you know I can't stand it, girl, just to be stuck all alone. Just like a dog love a bone. I love you, darling, just like a dog love a bone. Well, I wanna know where you is every minute, who you with, and where you are. So hey, hey, darling, baby, don't you leave me all alone. Hey, hey, darling, baby, don't you leave me all alone. Well, you know I can't stand it, girl, just to be stuck all alone.
Wow. That was fantastic.
All right.
Hey, Keith, how'd you find out about the Blues Festival?
Through Jeff Hill.
Okay.
Yeah, the Dayton Blues Society just called me up one day and asked me if I wanted to do it, and I said,
I just thought maybe you guys had that blues radar, and you hear that music, you're just drawn down. And
I've been around doing it for a little while, so I kind of know a lot of
Yeah.
people, you know what I mean?
That's beautiful.
And, these are like my favorite things to do, so I'm
That's
pretty
awesome.
much always down to do them.
we probably got time for another short one if you got one in you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Sally Mae, Lord knows you don't treat me right. Sally Mae, Lord knows you don't treat me right. Well, you stay out all night long, but don't do a thing but run around. You know I love you, babe, that's why you treat me the way you do. You know I love you, babe, but that's why you treat me the way you do. Well, you stay out all night long, but don't do a doggone thing. Sally Mae, but Lord knows you don't treat me right. Sally Mae, but Lord knows you don't treat me right. Well, you stay out all night long, don't do a thing but run around.
My goodness. T-Bone. Keith, that was amazing. And those are your original ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how many guys and gals do you have following you around that you're teaching now?
A good bit. I always need more, though, so, you know, if you want to join the club, come down and check me out.
Well, that brings up the next thing. How do our viewers get a hold of you and maybe follow you on social media?
Social media,
or do
for
you have
sure.
a website?
Yeah, I use Facebook mostly for all my stuff, so if that's the easiest way, I got the artist page on there and then my personal page. If you just Google my name, you'll find me.
Wow.
Keith T-Bone Colbert Blues, you'll find it.
And where are you playing now?
My next show is actually going to be, I'm going to be opening for Chris Kane at Natalie's Grandview in Columbus on Thursday, which is going to be awesome because I'm a huge fan of his, and I think I'm more excited to go watch him play than I am to play for myself.
Well, I think after the Blues Festival, there's going to be more and more T-Bone fans out there.
All right.
Hey, don't go away. We're
All
going to
right.
have you play us out of here in a second. Ann, is there anything else we need to know about the Blues Festival? Did we miss anything?
All I can say is it's rain or shine.
Yes,
Bring
ma'am.
a lawn chair and be ready to have a really good time.
Outstanding. So remember, August 5th.
No coolers.
No coolers. If you bring your cooler, you're going to have to deal with Arlen, okay? So remember, August 5th and 6th downtown on the Mulberry Plaza, lots of music, food, cards, crafts, food, and you. We hope to see you there. Stay right there. Keith is going to play us out into this break, and we'll have more with Michael Coyan from the Warren County Historical Society right after that.
Break your fast food habit at Kelly's Meats and Deli at 1001 West Main Street in Lebanon. Stop in for a quick lunch featuring made-to-order sandwiches, tasty sides, and mouth-watering daily specials. For dinner, Kelly's offers fresh-cut steaks, chops, and seafood, plus a variety of prepared dishes that only need to be reheated. You'll also find a large selection of high-quality wine and beer that can make any meal a special event. Kelly's Meats and Deli open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, now open for dinner Saturdays 6 to 9 p.m. And remember, we cater too.
Since 1954, Hardee's Interiors has been providing quality furnishings for homes in and around Lebanon, Ohio. Today, you'll still find quality antique and vintage furniture along with new made-in-America furniture of all styles. At Hardee's, you can create a mix of furniture and accessories that truly reflects your personality, all made to last a lifetime. Designers are welcome and so are you. Hardee's Interiors at 208.5 Wright Avenue or online at hardeesinteriors.com.
When it comes to healthcare, the most common question I get is, are you on our insurance? Well, we're probably not because we don't accept insurance, but our prices are extremely fair and you're going to get great care. So if your plan is to get great care, we are your plan. We offer chiropractic, fitness programs, massage, and clinical nutrition. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, Call our office, schedule for a free consultation so we can discuss any question you have and get you well.
Call now to schedule your free initial consultation.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Welcome back. Joining me is Michael Coyan, the Executive Director of Warren County Historical Society. John Zimkus and the rest of your crew just completed another successful week at theater camp, and now it's you turn your attention to what's next, including your collaboration with the Lebanon Public Library called A Picture Worth 1,000 Words. Tell us about that.
This is a wonderful collaboration. It's the second or third we've been working, actually it's the fourth one we've been working closely with the Lebanon Public Library. The idea was to have photographers from throughout Warren County to venture out and take a photograph. The photographs were judged by Sylvia Outland and myself and some staff from the library. So hundreds of photographs were narrowed. Then those photographs were submitted to writers to write something about the photograph.
Oh my.
Now what we didn't want was all the history. Oh, this place is, or this style of architecture is.
Yeah.
We wanted the emotion, the feeling, and what this place meant to you as you experienced the photograph.
Yeah.
And I had the pleasure of reading through those. We're going to have an opening reception on the 29th.
Okay.
Where the people who have submitted both the photographs and the entries are going to come together and actually do a reading. So it's very exciting.
Oh my.
And I read some of those and they're really quite heartfelt.
Yeah. Wow.
They're wonderful. One done in poetry, one done in the third person, another one. I mean, each one is so individual and it fits the picture perfectly.
And how many participants do you have in that?
Well, we've narrowed it down to 9.
Okay.
But there were some 30 to 40 entries. Wow. So it was quite a winnowing process, but a lot of that was the library staff helping with us. We've got enough on our plate as 'tis. We're also collaborating with them on a concert that will happen at 2 o'clock on the 23rd, which is Music on Main, which is actually taking place in the gazebo. So it's sort of a trial balloon. Let's see if we can do music that's a little different and sort of tags on to our Music at the Museum series, which literally is from February through June in the museum itself. So it's kind of a nice working relationship between the two organizations.
Have you seen the photos?
Yes.
Okay.
And they're stunning.
and some of the subject matter for the photography, can you share some of it?
Everything from Gazebo Park,
Yeah.
out here by the Golden Lamb, actually to the cabin. An interior photo of the cabin was submitted, and there's a wonderful piece written about that. There's one about the chapel at Miami Cemetery.
Okay.
So they're scattered all over, and one is a little girl in a field of sunflowers.
Yeah.
And so wide variety and really quite wonderful.
Are copies of the photos going to be available to purchase?
Well, we haven't talked about that yet.
Be a
but
great fundraiser.
It might be a
yeah.
possibility, so we'll have to talk to the library about that.
And how did the writers interpret the photos?
Well,
You gave them their free open reign?
Right.
Okay.
We didn't put any parameters on it other than saying we didn't want, a history of the thing or the family that lived here.
But how did you yoke them with did you bring writers in, say, go pick a photo?
Actually, the
or?
writers, the library posted the photos.
Okay.
We posted photos, and then it was sort of a cross-pollination
my,
between
yeah.
the artists and the writers coming together. But it worked, and so it's something we'll do in future.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how long is this display going to be in
We'll
the museum?
put the display up about 6 weeks. All the displays that we do last about 6 weeks.
Okay.
So people can come and go, and then if you want to meet the photographer and you want to meet the writer, come visit us on the 29th.
Wow.
Our usual 6:30 to 8 o'clock opening reception.
Yeah.
So we'll feature that.
Now you've been doing this for a while. How many years have you been working with the museum?
I've been director 2 years on St. Patrick's Day.
Okay, you've seen the traffic in the museum increase a little bit.
Unbelievable.
I understand. Years ago, you might see 3 people come in a week, and now you're having days where it's closer to 300?
Right. We've had weeks where we've had 293 people through the museum. Last week, I was so pleased because we had an Airstream group traveling from Colorado on their way to Williamsburg, Virginia. They've been zigzagging across the country, and one of the most amazing things, they spent 3 hours in the museum.
Wow.
And the director of their group and one of their senior, and I won't say senior in age, but one of their leaders of their group, paused at the desk on the way out, and they said, you know, we've been looking at museums all across the United States because we're going to courthouse towns zigzagging all through. He said, this is the best, absolutely the best.
Wow.
So we're very proud of it. We, the staff, the volunteers, the board, we work to make Lebanon and Warren County proud of that museum.
Yeah.
And we want them to be.
You're on the map now, brother.
Well, I hope so.
They're coming from all over
I
the place.
hope so.
That's wonderful. Now, you recently started a fundraising effort for the Historical Society with a goal of generating $5 million.
Yes.
Why did you feel the need for this now?
Well, we're not simpletons.
Yes.
We do know the fact that we're facing some tough times, which is why we didn't set a limit on we have to do this in 6 months. So it's an open end. It can be 3 years, it can be 4 years. The fact of the matter is we're the stewards of some priceless artifacts that mean a lot to Warren County and a lot to the history of the United States. We have something known as a Liebert system, which controls all the climate, the humidity and the temperatures in the vaults. Now, in the vaults, what are there? You know, we could let that go. That Liebert system runs 24/7. Wow. 24/7, and it's been running for 26 years.
My goodness.
It protects the signatures on documents going back to John Adams.
Yeah.
It protects the most priceless Shaker collection in the United States of books and manuscripts. It protects the boxes that contain the journals and the personal letters of most of the families that settled Warren County. It contains artifacts and glassware, daguerreotypes, Mary Lincoln's shawl, you name it.
Wow.
And what we're faced with is that system is collapsing.
Yeah.
That system is going to cost a big hole in $100,000 to replace. We could not replace it, and what will happen is the books will mold, the daguerreotypes will bloom with fungus, and the collection will fall to ruin. The other evening when we had, or late afternoon when we had that horrific downpour with the wind that brought so many trees down in Lebanon, I wish you'd have seen my staff and volunteers running through the museum with buckets and trash cans, and someone following me to pull $60,000 worth of paintings off the walls as the water's coming through the roof.
Goodness, Michael. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wake up at night, just as I did the other night when the rain was coming down, and I came down to the museum and took paintings down and put buckets and pushed tables, because we have facilities. The Harmon was built in 1913. We can't find parts to some of the systems that make the building work.
Yeah.
So it's not a thing of where we wanted to go out and just decide we need this money to spend on frivolous things. Yeah. We're talking about the bones that protect the heritage of Warren County, which is why this is so very important to me. It's been 30 plus years since the museum went to the public to ask for support of any kind. And we felt that it's time.
Wow.
And if people really feel we've made it easy, just like for the other nonprofits in Cincinnati or Dayton, if all you can give is a pledge of $5 a month, we have a form that'll allow you to do that.
Wow.
You don't have to give us piles of money. $50 a month would help us immensely over a 1 or 3 or 5 year period. And it would help us protect these documents.
Now, what about the general operating stuff for the society? How is that funded?
The general operating is funded literally through all the events that we have, including the Antique Show, Frontier Fair, which is coming back in September, all of the various lunch and learns, the history camp that John just did, All of those things add, as well as admissions. We take a little interest off of the endowment, but that's another thing. The endowment was raised 30 years ago.
Yeah.
In the time that I've been director, we've replaced roofs, we've replaced ceilings, we replaced air conditioning units, and we've not even scratched the surface.
Yeah.
It's an aging facility, and we have to maintain it.
So
If
most
we're
of the
going-
campaigns for improvements.
Exactly. It's for
Necessary
repair
improvements.
and replacement. Right.
And how can we contribute to this campaign? If people want to, help out.
Anyone can stop by the museum. We have a form,
Okay.
or you can go online. And we've made it as easy as possible. It can be a one-time gift. It can be a gift over, as I said, over time. Also, we have, you can pledge an annuity. We take about anything.
Wow.
No cats or dogs, but we take we take most anything. As far as, and the pressure on the museum is ever growing. In the last 2 weeks, I've had to turn down beds that were made in Lebanon in 1830, a dining room table made for Ichabod Corwin. We have no place to put it.
Yeah.
It's a matter of we have to be very discreet now about what we accept because our storage is just maxed out.
So is there maybe an expansion down the road, making?
Well, this director's not going to bring that up to this board unless we meet
They'll
that
bring
goal.
back tar and feather enough.
Unless we meet that goal over time. But there's an awful lot. People don't understand the incredible cost to the museum on a monthly basis of mowing the lawn at Glendower.
Oh my.
That's 3.5 acres.
Yeah.
And it costs an enormous amount of money just to mow the lawn.
Wow.
And then there are things like repaving driveways and so forth and so on. Many people come into the museum and say, I've lived in Lebanon forever. I didn't know it was here, or that kind of thing. And people say, why don't you do more advertising? In the instance since I've been director, every time we've set money aside for advertising, it's had to go into building repair. It's had to go into fixing the elevator or making sure we're making the facility safe to our visitors.
Now I noticed looking at your schedule that there's not a lot planned for August. Is that when you take a vacation, or?
No. One of the things we're doing in August is we're closing the museum to the public for the first week,
Okay.
which we haven't done forever. But one of the things we're going to be doing is emptying the contents of the vault and reordering the vault. The vault has some of the most precious material in Warren County in it. And what we decided to do, staff, the board, volunteers will be in, we're going to reorder the vault in such a way that it's easier to find things. For instance, the presidential collection will be put all together rather than in 3 places in the vault.
Yeah.
The paintings will be in a different place. We're going to be doing some sealing of the walls because we have had a little water weep in some places. So as we go through and we're pursuing grants on a state, federal level and a corporate level and a foundation level to help us because it's a big task. But we feel that everything there is worth it.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah. So you're not just the opposite. You're not taking vacation. You're
No.
working even more.
Exactly.
What about lunch and learns? Are they going to have those?
Lunch
in
and
August?
Learns, actually we have one tomorrow with
Okay.
Martin Gottlieb, who was one of the editors of the Dayton Daily News. And Martin has written a marvelous new book. It's gotten very well received on Clement Vallandigham,
Okay.
who of course was the Copperhead anti-Lincoln who shot himself accidentally in the room at the top of the stairs in the Golden Lamb and subsequently died there. Wow. So Vallandigham's ghost.
I was gonna ask, is he one of the ghosts there?
Says
That's
to,
right.
Oh,
Oh, my.
indeed, at the
Yeah.
top of the stair. So at any rate, Martin's going to join us tomorrow.
Okay.
And then, of course, we pick them up again in September. September's very busy for us. We have the Antique Show, which comes up on the 10th and 11th, and that is now the oldest continuous antique show in the state of Ohio.
And that's at the Warren County Fairgrounds.
At the Warren County Fairgrounds. Then the following weekend, which if my cheat sheet tells me right, the 17th and 18th, we're redoing the Frontier Fair.
Okay.
We're gonna-
Let's back up to the antique. You're lining up vendors for that now?
The vendors
Are you
were-
in need of more vendors?
The vendors were lined up less than 6 months after we closed the other one because they loved the September date.
Yeah.
The quality of the show literally went out across the United States, and the fact that they sold so much. Wow. So John Wannett, who's the show's coordinator, he's from Indianapolis, and he's worked with us for about 6 years now. John said that before he even mailed things out to the vendors suggesting dates and times, they were already in touch with him. And he's had to turn people down because he's got that many people.
Now, is the furniture the big draw, or there are other things? Are there a lot of pictures or other?
There's everything at the antique show. That's what's amazing about it. And I think we have a broad enough range that if you're new collecting, if you want to collect some 1950s stuff, we've got that. If you want to collect high-end Empire or Shaker, we have that. If you want glassware or jewelry. So John really looks at a cross-section of who we're bringing in to make sure the show is well-rounded and attractive to anybody.
I would imagine it's for everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's really a
if you're
must.
curious about antiques,
Yes.
this would be a great place for you to discover. Is this your niche? Is this something? Yeah.
Well, it's a good place to get started.
Yeah.
It really
beautiful.
is. Yeah.
And how do we get tickets for that?
Tickets, you can go online, and of course, we'll have tickets available at the door.
Beautiful. And you started to say about the next week, September 17 and 18, there's the Frontier Fair.
The Frontier Fair's coming back. All of those people who volunteered their time last year, from Daniel Boone to Tecumseh, to the Native American, the North American Drum Circle, to the soldiers from Fort Meigs, to the vendors and various people playing historic characters, all of them to a person. Some of them contacted us and said, we want to do this again. Are you going to have it again? Wow. So actually, we've added a few things. We now have an Irish band from right around the time of the immigration from the Irish famine in 1847, which is close.
Yeah, beautiful.
And we've got various dance groups performing. And so we're looking forward to presenting to the public Warren County from 1795 to 1845.
And what about demonstrations? Are you having demonstrations?
Absolutely. We're going to have everything from spoon carvers to arrowhead nappers to those who do tinsmithing and weavers, you name it. They're all lined up and ready to go.
What
of
are
course,
your expectations this year versus last year?
Well,
and was last year pretty successful?
Last year was pretty successful. One of the things that we had a problem with was we dedicated the Beetle Cabin, and geographically the Beetle is not the easiest thing to walk to Glendower. You've got that hill, you've got businesses and busy Cincinnati Avenue, which is dangerous to cross.
You need a trolley car.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you know, we were looking for some type of shuttle system. The city offered the parking lot here on Main Street for us, but we've not been able to find a shuttle because of most churches or whatever, there are insurance problems with using it. So we decided to locate everything but a couple events. The cabin will be open, it will be staffed, but most of the events will be at Glendower on the lawn.
Is that where the actors, the historical actors are going to be?
Yes.
Boy, that sounds like too much fun.
Yeah, it is. And it's a wonderful, it fills our purpose as an educational institution as well as something that you can just take a family to and have a blast, really.
And how much are tickets for that, and how do you get them?
What we're doing is similar to what we do with the museum. It's $20 for a family, $10 for an individual, and then, of course, children and seniors are less. You can get those at the website, or you can buy them we'll have kiosks at Glendower on the driveways, and you can buy them as you come in.
And now, what else do we need to know about that wonderful historical society? Did we miss anything?
No, I tell you what, we are going to offer something that was very popular last year. We're offering our dinner raffles again.
Okay.
So this year we're doing the 1795 Beetle Cabin Dinner, which is, you know, everything from buffalo steaks to flatbread and who knows. We're doing an 1870
inside the cabin.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, with the fire going, and we had
goodness.
a lady playing a dulcimer, and everybody was in costume. It was marvelous.
That's September.
Yeah.
So
well, you can choose the date on these dinners.
Okay.
So then we're having an 1870 dinner in Glendower's formal dining room. So if you want to be a bit upper crust and have a beef Wellington, well, there's where you're having it. And this year, instead of having another dinner in the Victorian Gallery, we came up with something new. We're having a 1969 lunar dinner in the Armstrong Gallery of Flight.
Oh my gosh.
And what George Stengel is doing is taking everything the astronauts ate on the moon, taking it out of the tube, and putting it actually in an edible form, and you'll be served, let's say, creatively. Wow. And of course, yes, we will have tang.
Now, Michael, if you're going to have that food floating around in some kind of capsule, sign me up, because that's, I mean, that would be some. If you can flip the gravity switch.
I don't know whether we'll go that far, but it should be fun. And again, it's a dinner for 4. And you can take a chance on the raffle and buy a ticket, and there you go.
How do you come up with this stuff?
Well, it's a creative staff, and it's a fun staff. And our volunteer staff, we've totaled hours, and there have been months in the last 4 where our volunteers have put in almost 400 hours a month, which is almost 18 and a half hours for every day the museum is open. Wow. It's utterly amazing.
Where do you find these people? My gosh.
They're dedicated to the museum. They're dedicated to Warren County history.
Yes, sir.
They're dedicated to making sure that the visitors to our facility have the best experience they can possibly have.
Wow.
And we've got plans all out the way. We're doing a New Year's Eve thing this year, a black and white ball on New Year's. Wow. We're bringing back a Christmas carol, which we did. Complete staff on that one. So people really like that. And there will be teas to be announced at Glendower, and there's something going on in that old building all the time.
So do you have companies that get a hold of you and say, hey, we want you to do our Christmas party? I
No,
mean, it'd be so amazing to have something there, and then all the funding goes to...
We haven't done that. I mean, we're waiting for companies to come and say, hey, we want to rent the space.
Yeah.
We'd like to use the conference center because we're doing that.
Because there are weddings there.
Sure.
Yeah.
We've had
good
weddings.
Friend who got married there, Kevin Miller.
Yes.
Years ago.
And celebrations of life, and
wow.
we're getting ready to repaint that and redo it, new draperies and everything in there.
Wow.
So.
Well, Michael, always a pleasure. You know,
well,
one thing that we talked about, I think a couple of years ago, and I still haven't come down and purchased it, but you can get a brick.
Yes.
With your name.
Absolutely.
And become part of the history of Lebanon. And I need to get down there and just be part of that, because that's fun, and we can always see that we're there.
And we're getting ready in the next few weeks to replace the chipped path around the cabin with compacted limestone, and we're getting ready to begin initial plantings in the fall on the Shaker Garden around the cabin.
Wow.
So there's a lot going on.
Well, fantastic. Appreciate you and your whole team on what you guys do. If you haven't checked out the Lebanon Museum, boy, you're missing out. And with it being so hot, and there's nothing really because it's so hot. It's a cool place. I mean, it really is. It is a cool place. Check it out. Michael, thanks.
Thank you.
Hey, we'll be back to wrap up the show right after this break.
You made this vacation happen, cleverly merging promotions,
double points with every purchase,
and cross-referencing travel sites. Aloha! If you can ace your vacation, you can do it for retirement. Get on track with tips at aceyourretirement.org.
Extinction is forever. To save America's most iconic and imperiled species from extinction, we must fight for their future. Fight to save the natural lands that wildlife call home. Fight to limit pollution. Fight for smart development. Fight for their future. And fight for ours. For so goes nature, so goes us.
Unlike other health concerns, mental illness is not always easy to see.
D-E-P-R.
Mental illness doesn't show up on a scale.
Bipolar?
Sorting out a mental health concern takes professional diagnosis and treatment.
Anxiety. I thought so.
If you or a loved one has a mental health concern, don't go it alone. For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral, call 1-800-662-HELP. Learn more at samhsa.gov/support.
I've been driving a truck for 40 years now. If people knew what I know, lives could be saved. Like the trucks can't stop quickly. It takes my 80,000-pound truck 200 yards to come to a complete stop. So I always do my best to give a lot of cushion. It helps when other drivers realize that and do the same. Please give trucks the space we need so we can all stay safe. It's our roads. It's our safety.
It's a short ride from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
All right. Don't forget to check out the Warren County Fair, which is happening July 18th through the 23rd. And take some time to check out the 4-H projects and livestock shows happening at the back of the fairgrounds. You'll be amazed at the dedication and hard work put in by those families to get ready for their fair each year. And then on July 23rd through the 29th, the World Ultimate Club Championship is returning to McClure Road Field with teams from all over the world coming down to compete in a game that is a cross between soccer and frisbee tossing. Now, there will also be a big party in downtown Lebanon on Mulberry Plaza Friday night, July 29th, that will also be open to the public. So you'll be able to stop down and meet and greet the athletes as they finish up their week of competition. The Lebanon Rotary Concert Series continues Thursday nights at 7 p.m. in Bicentennial Park at the corner of Mulberry and Cherry Streets. Bring a chair or a blanket and enjoy a free concert from some talented local artists. Well, that's it for our show. We'll be back August 2nd with a look at Healthy Living Market and the new mountain bike trails at the Atrium Medical Center Bike Park right here in Lebanon. We'll see you then. Thanks for watching.